What if I told you that the most attractive man to women isn't the richest, the tallest, or even the best looking, but a young man with the traits of an older man? By the end of this video, you'll understand the secret traits that make women obsess over you without even knowing why. In this video, we will analyze the personality of an old guy, and I will show you how to display these traits. Because if you pay attention, many women, perhaps all of them, are attracted to the idea of being with an older man. Many believe that the reason for this is that an older man has money or something like that. But no, attraction is not something logical. Just as a man is naturally drawn to a younger woman, a woman is naturally drawn to a man who is older. But if you're a young man who possesses the traits of an old guy and makes a woman feel the same emotions she would feel with an older man, then you will be better than any young man out there, and even better than any old guy out there. How can you do that? Don't worry. I will break down everything for you in detail. Now listen to me carefully. I want you to focus with me now and try to think of an old man, a person you know well. He could be your father, grandfather, or even an older relative. You will notice that most of them possess a trait that is not commonly found in young men, which is that they are obsessed with something specific. They have a passion or a clearly defined hobby. You might find one of them spending his entire day working under his car because that is his passion, or spending his whole day in the garden, or maybe even spending all his time in church or a place related to religion as a man. When you are young, you still have the desire to explore and experiment with life. And your passion might be in buying a new car or attracting a beautiful woman. But as you grow older and discover yourself more, a day will come when you lose hope in women and then life itself. And then you will discover something that becomes your true passion, something that becomes more important to you than anything else. Now, some might misunderstand my words and think that I simply mean you should have any passion, and that's it. There is a huge difference between the passion of a young man and the passion of an older man. Having a passion is always an attractive trait that draws women in, but having the type of passion that an old man has will multiply your attractiveness tenfold. And don't worry, even if this concept seems unclear or too simple to you, I will explain everything in detail with practical examples. I will teach you how to showcase this trait to women, and even how to develop this kind of passion within yourself. So, let's first understand the difference between these two types. Imagine a young man who has a YouTube channel and uploads videos. If you ask him why he does it, his answer will most likely be to become famous, to make money, and to achieve my dreams. This is not someone with a true passion. This is just someone with a goal. So what is the real passion I'm talking about? What is the secret that older men have that makes women fall deeply in love with them? In today's video, I want you to develop a passion that you enjoy practicing without caring about the outcome. Meaning, you should have a hobby that you enjoy purely for its own sake. But wait, everyone has hobbies. Doesn't that mean this is not a unique trait of older men? The passion I'm talking about must have a specific standard. You must enjoy it through creativity and production, not just consumption. How? As human beings, we have two main sources from which we derive pleasure. 1. Consumption. Like someone who enjoys playing video games, watching movies, or eating. 2. Production and creativity. Like someone who enjoys programming and creating games, taking care of his garden, cooking, or building a strong physique in the gym. Passion that attracts women is the second type, the kind of passion that allows you to create something, a process that requires effort and hard work, but brings deep enjoyment. For me, my hobby is hiking. Is this something comfortable? Is it something enjoyable for everyone? I love it. You might find your father spending his entire day taking care of his garden, pulling out weeds or cutting down trees. Or he might spend his day watching videos about how to care for gardens. Do you find that enjoyable? No, but he enjoys it. Now that we understand this, a new problem arises. How do you make a woman realize that you have this passion? And how do you make her feel it? Because in the end, attraction is an emotional thing. If you go up to a woman and simply say, "I love hiking," she won't feel anything. She won't feel any attraction. And so even if you do have this passion, it won't do anything for you with her. So how do you show it to her? There are two ways. But before I explain them to you, let's do a quick. In summary, as a man, you must have a difficult hobby that requires effort in order for you to get enjoyment out of it. And please, playing video games, watching anime, football, or movies are not attractive hobbies because they are simply about consumption and nothing more. Of course, you might ask me now and say, "I don't have this kind of hobby." I have two solutions to this problem. The first solution, you can pretend that you have a hobby by applying what I will tell you later about how to showcase it to a woman. The second solution, why don't you have that? This type of hobby in the first placing. You are a man. One of the most enjoyable things for men is having this type of passion and hobby. Maybe right now you think that scrolling through social media is something fun and easier. But once you discover something that requires effort, yet is enjoyable, like going to the gym, martial arts, hiking, painting, pottery, or even metalworking, you will discover a real sense of enjoyment that you never knew existed. So, how do you make this hobby and passion a key to unlocking any woman's heart, no matter who she is? There are two ways. The first way, prioritize your hobby over her. For example, I usually meet my girlfriend on the weekends. That's our time to go out and plan our dates. But sometimes I tell her, "I can't go out with you this week because I'm going hiking with my friends." You might have martial arts training every day at 7 p.m. This means you can't meet her at that time. If you're on a date with her and it's about to be 7 p.m. and you say, "I have to go because I have training." If she texts you saying, "Let's meet up," you tell her, "No, not until I finish my workout, then we can meet and pay attention." Even if it seems like she doesn't like this and tries to convince you to stay with her, don't listen to her. Don't fall into this trap. Side note, even if you actually want to stay with her and don't feel like going to your workout that day, you must force yourself to go and not stay with her. Do not give in to her pressure. And I know you might feel like, "I'm asking you to do something you don't want to do, but I don't care what you like or don't like." I'm teaching you how to make her like you. I'm giving you a technique, because the real question is, do you want her or not? If the answer is yes, then do what must be done. The second way, talk about your passion with deep emotion. When you talk about your passion, don't talk about it like it's just an ordinary thing. Express the emotions you feel. Talk about how it makes you feel. Talk about the feeling you get when you lift heavier weights in the gym. Talk about your love for the pain you feel in your muscles. Talk about the satisfaction you feel when you reach the top of the mountain after a long, exhausting walk. Don't just say, "I love working out," and then stop. Instead, talk about it with passion and strong emotional expression. When you combine both of these methods, you will have successfully displayed the first trait of the old guy that drives women insanely attracted to you, and trust me, this trait is so powerful that you can't even imagine it. The second trait that an old guy has is that he is completely confident in his decisions. As a man grows older, he goes through many experiences and reaches convictions and beliefs that are impossible to change. At the same time, when he makes a decision, he makes it firmly, and no woman can change his mind. So how can you do that? And how do you show her the certainty that you have? The answer is simple. Stick to your guns. Sometimes you will find yourself forced to make very difficult decisions that your partner doesn't agree with. Even after she pleads with you, presents her arguments and debates with you, you must hold your ground if you are completely convinced that your decision is the best one. Many years ago, my girlfriend and I started talking about moving to a new apartment. At the time, we were living in a small but decent place. Nothing special, just a basic apartment that was affordable and functional. The building was a bit old, the walls were thin, and the kitchen was cramped. But it was home. She had her eye on a slightly better place. Not luxury, just a newer apartment with more space, better lighting, and a small balcony. It was in a quieter neighborhood, and she believed we'd be more comfortable there. I understood her point. It did seem like a nice upgrade, but moving meant a higher rent, and I wasn't convinced it was worth it. She kept showing me listings, pointing out how we'd have more space, a better layout, and a more modern kitchen. I could see the appeal, but at the same time, I felt like we were doing just fine where we were. The extra cost wasn't outrageous, but it was still money that could go towards savings, travel, or just giving us more financial flexibility. I've always believed in being strategic with money. A slightly bigger apartment wouldn't suddenly make life that much better, and I didn't see the point in increasing our expenses when we were already managing well. She argued that we'd feel happier and more comfortable in a better place, that it wasn't about luxury, but just about improving our quality of life. I understood where she was coming from, but I stood my ground. I reminded her that financial stability and long-term goals mattered more than a slightly newer apartment. Eventually, she realized that while moving was tempting, it wasn't necessary. In the end, we stayed where we were. And looking back, I know it was the right decision. And the interesting part, she later admitted that she respected me more for thinking long-term, instead of getting caught up in temporary luxury. This strengthened her trust in my ability to make rational financial decisions, knowing that I prioritize what actually matters. Interesting, isn't it? Could it be that saying no to a woman and standing your ground, even on small matters, makes you more attractive to her? The world is full of paradoxes, my friend. You won't know until you try it yourself. And the last trait of the old guy, which in my opinion is one of the most important, is that a woman will never treat an older man as if he were her child. What do I mean by this? In your relationship with a woman, there are two possibilities. Either she treats you like her little child, or you take on the role of a father figure to her. And I know this might sound strange to you, but just stick with me. The most important thing I want you to understand in this part of the video, and something you need to remember for the rest of your life, is that you must never allow a woman to treat you like a little child. So the question here is, how do you give a woman the feeling that you play a fatherly role in her life? You know what? This is a big topic, and I'll leave it for a dedicated video in the How to Attract Good Women series. If you think this idea interests you, and want me to talk about it in the next video, let me know in the comments so I can see if there's interest in this topic or not. And if you want to dive deeper and learn all the details about how to attract a woman and make her love you effortlessly, you can check out my book Dark Code. You'll find the link in the video description. And if you're still watching up to this point, I just want to tell you that Brave Minds loves you. Stay Putinized.